Hey everybody, this is Caleb at Prehired. Today we've got Torres Hodges in Minneapolis, Minnesota with us, and he's just got hired to a top sales team.
Yes,
Torres, if you want, just take a minute and tell everyone about you and your background.
sure. Yep. My background, I ended up having my degree in communications, but I was trying to make that work and um, couldn't really find work that was really going to pay me at the level that I needed to in order to support my family. I ended up doing some great work with nonprofits, but still, a lot of those jobs, I mean, some of them didn't even have benefits. And so I had a moment where I realized, like, man, I really just got to do something different to really help take care of my family better. And then I found the pre-hired program, and I fell in love with it, quite honestly. And after my first interview, I was like, oh, this is definitely the right thing for me. So
Awesome, awesome. And like, why were you interested in software sales, and why were you interested in doing it through Prehired?
right. So software sales specifically, when I went and so my introduction to the concept of software sales was actually through pre-hired. And then I was like, okay, well, they can get you this job as an SDR. Well, what does that do? And then when I went and I dug into it, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I could do that. I did some community engagement work with a nonprofit where we were doing like lots of enterprise level sales and things like that. So I figured I had a similar skill set. And then I saw things like Mark Cuban started his career in software sales. So I was like, okay. And, these folks, I mean, it's like they care about my degree, but it's really about what am I going to bring to the table? Because a lot of the times you can't get certain jobs or you can't even speak with certain people without having some kind of something, but it was good because pre-hired, I think, really looked at what matters in a person, like, a track record of success, do they just kind of give you this, hunger and desire to actually want to do this thing? And then I saw, like, what is it, like a 96% success rate, and I saw video testimonials such as this, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah. And then, the income share agreement, I was like, okay, so they're investing in you. So just lot very good signs that made me have confidence in what you all were doing. And so that's what made me interested in software sales specifically, but then also pre-hired specifically.
That's wonderful, man. Let me ask you this. This is really important. And this is something I kind of went through too when I like first went through the program is, when you first found us, did you have any doubts? What were you thinking and what were you feeling?
Yeah, sure. I think that because I've done courses like this before, and I think it usually just comes down to, I mean, honestly, my doubts are in myself, because I I'm learning a completely different, field, completely different sector here, new skill sets and everything. And so, I mean, but the pressure was on because it's like, they're trying to get you hired by a certain amount of time, which is an aggressive goal, but it's like you have to go and actually do it. And I honestly, I was like, man, like, can I actually do this? But as I was going through the actual program, and then, mentors like Bobby and yourself, really just make the difference in helping people who really want this to actually achieve that goal of finishing the program in a timely manner and then getting hired in a timely manner, which is what it's really all about. So
Yeah, absolutely. You touched on, a little bit about the program. Do you care to go in a little bit more detail about what was it like going through the
yeah,
program?
sure. So after that initial interview where they, like, assessed that I was a good fit, I was trying to get, started as soon as possible. Just because you're on like, oh my gosh, I'm accepted, rush. And then it starts with that video curriculum, and then there's some assignments at the end that get you certified. But all the while you're going through that video curriculum, you have a mentor that's assigned to you that, is there for any questions that you have. Then also helps you test what you've been learning the past couple weeks or however long it takes you to complete. And so it's really robust because not only do you get that, learn at your own pace, you also do have that actual hands-on practice with somebody who actually knows what they're talking about, and can let you know, like, hey, maybe, work on your mining for pain points in the discovery call a little better, and so it's really good because the mentors really make sure that you're not just pressing play and fast forwarding. You're actually retaining what you're learning, and that's key.
Perfect, man. Love it. Hey, most importantly, do you care to share some of your data and tell us about your results? And, what was it like getting hired?
Absolutely. So I had, let's see, as far as once you start setting up the email sequence, I think I had like a 35 or 40% open rate, which is good. My response rate was a little bit lower than that, but I was getting quality responses. I think that the way that they have you set up that email sequence, and the verbiage and the wording that you use really, I mean, when somebody responds, they're very interested in you. I mean, they always want to know, like, well, what's this awesome pre-hired thing? So yeah, and then interviews, I had, gosh, how many? Like 5 or 6 interviews. I had one company that wanted to offer me the job, but I just wasn't going to take the job. And then I had another company actually give me an offer. And then I finally settled on the third company that I interviewed with, which is the job I'm actually starting on Monday as of us having this conversation. So, and I was actually telling you, like, I've never had multiple job offers before, like in my life. And so I was just like, how do you juggle this? I've never had to do this before, but it was really awesome. And then you ultimately wind up in a company that actually values you and values the pre-hired program and values that network that you can tap into on top of the experience that you have. So it's just a really amazing program.
That's awesome, Torres. I want to ask you one more question. What would you say to anyone that's been following us for a while, but they're just, they're still on the fence about getting started?
Yeah. Well, I would honestly say that if any of your doubts or reason for being on the fence is like, does this thing work? Just cast all those aside. Look at the video testimonials. This absolutely works. If you put the work in to do this, it will work for you. It's very comprehensive. It's very thorough, and if you apply yourself, you will learn a lot. And honestly, I can really think of that would really be the only exception. I mean, just look at all the video testimonials, look at the success rate, look at the fact that you don't have to put any money up front, and they'll actually only start making money once you start making money. These are all very good signs that these are folks that you can actually trust with your next career step. So I would just urge someone, like, once they're off the fence, to just get in and really apply yourself and do the work, because you will reap the benefits.
Well, Torres, that's awesome, man. Thank you for being with us here today.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Caleb.
Okay. Really, really good.